Affairs program that dissects top trending stories of the day that audience can relate with. These topics range from politics, governance, health, education, business, and many more. And like I said, of course, well informed guests. Now, today we're going to be looking at the role of the FCCPC in protecting consumer rights in Nigeria. So, a lot of Nigerians have been talking about that. More on the part of, excited that they are hearing that finally an investigation is launched into reports of network failures by telecoms companies and, poor bank services and the likes. Anyway, the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, that's the FCCPC, is investigating banks over reports of network failures that have hindered customers from accessing their funds or using banking applications. And it's the commission is also investigating telecoms and aviation sectors. That's both sectors over allegations of poor service delivery, exploitative practices, and potential consumer rights violations. And in the report, it kicked off the investigation yesterday. It says it stretches from 3rd of December, where it has summoned three companies. So the first one showed up yesterday. The second is expected to show up today and then tomorrow. So that's the beginning of the process. We can't deny that the exploitation of consumers by telecoms in Nigeria is a significant concern. You recharge for data and then you don't get the value for your money. That's what a lot of Nigerians would say. Or you just pick up your phone, you leave a particular a balance in your account, and then you check, you see that you're down by 1,000 naira or even more without an explanation. But anyway, one of the primary issues is a lack of transparency and fairness in the billing systems. And Comrade Adiola Shoiton, who's a public affairs analyst, joins us on Spotlight this morning to go over this very important one as it concerns all of us Nigerians. Good morning, Comrade. Good to have you on the program.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to be here.
Yeah. Okay, we're happy to have you. Now, where do we start from? Let's start from your reaction to the FCCP's announcement that an investigation has been launched into the banking sector and aviation and telecoms in the country.
Well, I think it's a welcome development. Let's see how it goes. Because virtually almost all providers, all manufacturers, and all wholesalers have been involved in one smart game or the other. So when you have agencies like FCCPC doing something, I think we have to encourage them.
Okay.
But we need to get the fundamentals why they may not achieve much. The reason being that when you run a market economy, an unguided market economy, like what we do in Nigeria, particularly in the last less than 2 years of Tinubu regime, we are in a totally embraced anti-poor, anti-people neoliberal economic policy of total privatization, commercialization, subsidies around. Of course, consumers are going to be the last victims. But there are certain things that government should do or government does where people with social conscience govern. Is about issue of subsidy to make sure this market is not left, to gangsters that can use advantage of providing essential services to exploit consumers. You've talked about MTN. Don't forget that it didn't start today. When they came with, I think, Airtel, it was when you make a call, even if it was just a minute call, they take, I think, 50 naira, which became a battle a conflict between the woman under umbrella, selling cars, providing roadside telephone work, and of course the angry consumer. Then you ask yourself why this? Yeah, it's bad. Then you also look at the high percent rate of getting their loans from government and of doing businesses. Of course, producers, manufacturer wants profit. And when they are under this attack here and there, they are going to find a way out. They can't fight government. They will start fighting consumers because consumers look helpless. So when Glow Line came by Adenuga, you can see that the so-called market forces were in disarray. And all of course, Glow introduced per second, and Glow also introduced free SIM after launching, in a big way in Abuja and Lagos, and all of them came back. That is competition. The government should first of all set the pace by allowing enough conducive environment for business to thrive, for consumers to thrive. MTN, and in fact all of them now, when you buy cards, they will say it's limited for certain period, which to me is total nonsense.
Okay.
Total nonsense. It should not be.
Yeah.
If I buy a card of, say, 2,000 naira, why should you say I should use it for 7 days or I should use it for a rollover? Why? In some countries, they don't give a deadline. That is, you must just stop. I may have 2,000 naira buy, and I may not talk well, I may not talk much. For the next 1 week, then you are forcing me to buy another. And the same thing applies to all these service providers. When we are even using their data.
Yeah. Comrade, ideally we wouldn't even call the names for, giving them free publicity. But in this case, Nigerians are collectively calling out these telecom companies. All, the mainstream media, everyone is calling, calling all of them out. And the banks and even a particular airline that is alleged to overcharge Nigerians, and the poor service delivery. A lot of Nigerians, like I said, it's a collective fight and struggle for Nigerians. But now, what are some common issues you think? What are some common service delivery issues you think you've seen with banks? And you've talked about the telecoms. How about the banks and aviation sector?
Banks, you see, there's a problem about how we adopt technology in Nigeria. I was working at NTA as a broadcaster in the 80s.
Yeah.
You go to bank, of course, they have this tally number, and where they go through manual process. You can drop your tally and come back maybe by 2-3 if you have too many crowd. Then some of them started when technology grows, which is borderless, our banks adopted the non-waiting game. Now, the reverse is the issue. The first bank, not first bank as a bank, the issuing bank that issued the check. When I got to to the receiving bank, they were just pushing me up and down. Later, after about a week of intervention, I don't want to mention the banks because
we don't.
Are opposed
we can't give them publicity.
So at the end of the day,
yeah,
they say is they have all these middlemen. It's not only banks now. They also have a lot of middle organization.
Wow.
That will transfer, will not transfer. At the end of the day, I didn't get my money until after 7 weeks. So tell me. So how many Nigerians can do the struggle? If not because I'm a social activist, and I also have my contacts on social media and, of course, with some lawyers who
Mm-hmm.
are friends from the university. I mean, how do you go and tell a son? He will tell you, first of all, go and pay 2 million,
Mm.
2 million naira. So,
Yeah.
what I'm saying in essence is that our technology is getting something else. You send money, you don't get it. Then when you send money, in those days, savings increases. Today, savings decreases, which is very terrible. You send 2,000 to somebody now, they will tell you they have removed about 100 naira. And don't forget, this is also part of governance way of exploiting customer, because Yoruba used to say, if you pull guru, guru
Mm.
will pull Igbo. And I mean, what they are saying in essence is that there is nothing, there is nobody
Yeah.
that will not pay the pains.
Yeah.
So if you are saying that the way of doing business, you are getting so much money from people. In fact, what banks are doing really, in most cases, is to steal or exploit on behalf of government. And of course, along the line, they
Yeah.
also steal. So I cannot imagine. You put 10,000 in a account for 2 years, you go back there, the money is
You see
gone.
5,000.
The money is
No,
gone.
but
Why?
this is sad.
And you want to encourage people to
Yeah.
come to bank? No, it's wrong. So maybe I was telling some people on a platform something
Mm-hmm.
that, do we now reverse back to where is my tally number? Because all the technology is they are like adopted to exploit people.
Mm.
It's very wrong. Now
Mm.
they have just introduced 50 naira on anything on all this.
Yeah, above 10,000, I
It's
think.
very wrong.
Yeah.
It's very wrong. So if I
Okay.
send money to a grandmom or a granddad now, 5,000 and I still go to collect something, it's very wrong. Then you ask yourself, I was at the bank, one of my banks, 3 days ago. I even took picture. I was about to post it. People are saying, all of us killed. So I used to do all this, their POS. I just, okay, let me take a stroke this morning. I go to the bank. I saw people there, and people already are exhausted.
Mm.
A lady was withdrawing, and people have started complaining. Our only POS in here, those are POS. He's been changing cards. And I told them, what is your problem? The woman had money in bank. So if he has money, but he has right to collect,
To
he should
collect the
have left.
money.
Why should you leave? Instead of you people to go into that bank, the bank is in this compound. Why can't you go and protest that out of their 4 ATM, only one was working?
Mm.
So Nigerians like to
Yeah.
attack co-victims instead
So,
of protesting.
Comrade, I was even going to ask you because, the CBN, as regards what you said now, the situation with cash scarcity in ATMs, now we have to resort to POS. It's almost like the ATMs are non existent at this point. And the CBN is saying that, yeah, the banks are going to be sanctioned. But now they are, what on the street is that a lot of the bankers own the POS, the POS operators work for them. Allegedly, that's what is being speculated. But what do you have to say about that particular? Because I believe that's a consumer right violation. I should have access to an ATM machine if I want to withdraw cash and shouldn't have to pay extra charges for POS.
And don't forget that CBN will always make noise. They've been saying that even before Tinubu came in. You are going to sanction. You are going to do this. But it's a lie. Total lie. Do you know that I passed about 5 banks that I was strolling anyway before I got to that my bank. So all those banks I was passing through, there was no money. And you ask yourself too, the CBN want to tell us he doesn't know. He doesn't know that the maximum you can get now is 10,000 naira from a bank, and you can only do that for 4 times.
But comrade, there's a possibility the CBN doesn't. Remember when the what's it called, the Naira redesign policy came up, and some money, some no, some comrade, some cash were released to banks, and we saw reports of the banks stacking this cash in safe, according to videos that were online. So to speak on the part of the CBN, there's a chance probably that isn't this an issue with the bank management in different branches?
Don't forget they have what we call bankers committee that liaise with CBN on regular basis. CBN cannot just wake up in the day and start saying, hey, you're going to sanction. Sanction who? When you know you have created a situation where people can exploit for OPS gangsterism. So what does it take a branch manager? Let me give you an instance. When they were changing money and repainting Naira, you coloring Naira, I was in the bank. And of course, I got stuck. I went to a bank. I spent 3 hours there. I could not do anything. It took me time to call a friend who is a branch manager, and he came back to give me ordinary 20,000 naira after I closed. You see, you have to manage. I now asked. He said, look, what CBN is doing is affecting them. That is a policy of that government to starve people of fund. I should also ask myself, where are those money gone? Where? So government allows a lot of things that all these manufacturer, service provider, exploit further, because there's no way you attack people who are going to provide. They send it back to the customer. So what FCCPC are doing, good as it is, but they should first of all take government.
Yeah. So
This is the source of our problem.
Yeah, comrade, before we get to the recommendations you have for the FCCPC, let's talk about specific consumer rights violations in the aviation sector. You've analyzed the bank, which a lot of people can relate to, and what's going on with telecoms. We talked about that. So now, what's the situation with the aviation sector? What do you think are the common consumer rights that Nigerians are constantly faced with that are violated?
Common consumer rights globally is one, value for service, value for payment, and of course, customer satisfaction. We used to say customers are always right, but now the aviations are always right. I was in Abuja some times ago. I was to come back with an airline, and I got there because my ticket was booked online. And when I got there, I discovered that we have too many people. Underground arrangement was good for those who had money, cash to pay. Than for those of us who paid online, discounted. So they changed all the program. Immediately I discovered I cannot go again. So I had to call a friend who was lodging in a hotel to go back. I cannot afford to go and rent hotel again. It's not possible. So it's been like that over years. Look, it's not really this year. It has been like that. They cancel flights without any information.
Okay.
And when information comes, it comes too late. They delay flights without any menu, without courtesy. When I was going years back to Cuba, when we got to Amsterdam, and they discovered that there was a technical, not man-made, so to say. You know what they did? All of us came down. As you are coming down, they were giving us tickets, like for us to go and buy things. They just go with your whatever to their something like ATM. They will print out ticket for you to go and buy food, to go and buy drink. And you can see they were announcing on a regular basis for our patients understanding and apologizing. But here, because the gurus in aviation are also part of the guru in the banking, in government, of course, in service providing and what have you. So they don't count us. We are not counted. That's the truth. Why should somebody wants to go to Abuja on a serious meetings or business,
Yeah.
by 10 he must be in Abuja, and has booked his flight about a week or two before. All you get to know on your way to airport, the message is sent to you maybe about 1 hour to the flight that has been cancelled. Some are cancelled to the extent that you have to sleep in the airport.
That's
You
bad.
see, people think when I'm a bit okay, I don't need to fight. This thing did not start with plane. It's also has been on with a train, even commercial vehicles.
Commercial, yes, yes.
Yeah, so
It
people say, hey,
happens.
I'm rich. I don't want to know. They don't know it's going to affect them now.
But
When you
now,
go to
yeah,
the radio station now,
yeah.
all the AC will not work until 30 minutes for you to board.
On some
The
buses, you
AC will not work.
you
There
pay
will be
for
no light
AC, there will be no
because they
AC.
cannot afford,
Yeah.
to buy petrol and diesel.
Hmm.
There was a time I get train station there where there. One of the toilet was open. The fleet, the what they call it, the fleet or whatever they call it, could not work. We had to trek up. So these are part of wrongs
Hmm.
against consumer by service provider and even government. So
Yeah.
when you make a policy, it has a multiplier effect, side effect, adverse effect on the final consumer. That's the
Hmm.
truth. And all of us are
So
affected.
now, comrade, before I get clarity with you on the commissions or agencies that are saddled with the responsibility of protecting consumer rights in the country, I want to take us just a few steps back. Still talking about the banking and even telecoms. What do you have to say about two Nigerians that will just say, okay, well, it's just 5 naira that is deducted, so yeah, it shouldn't be a big deal, or they'll just say, okay, it's 10 naira that is deducted, so it won't affect my account so much. So what would be your own reaction to that?
Well, maybe because you are very rich. That's why you say maybe it's not a big deal. It's a big deal, very big deal. You know what? When you want to pay your hospital bill, and somebody send 20,000 to you, and they have deducted so much, the doctor will not listen. So you have to start calling people. That is one thing. Of course, when you calculate, let's assume we have 40 million, 10 naira, 50 naira deducted as many times as possible,
Mm.
times 40 million. So that's why banks are not interested in really doing business, because sitting alone and doing all this kind of exploitation, make them to declare profit. You ask yourself now,
Mm.
in any economy, banks drive industry. But today, industry, individual drive bank through exploitation. They are declaring profits. Businesses are collapsing. Then you ask yourself, why? Banks are declaring high profit in billions.
Mm.
Individuals, consumer or customers are getting poorer. That's a contradiction. That looks like magic.
Mm.
Because bank does not even have money. They create money by the little economy we did in secondary school. Bank create money. And they create money through services. Now a bank is telling you to come and take a loan of 27 to 35%. So as a manufacturer, that affects. That's why a lot of people go into politics now, because that is safest and fastest profit-making industry. If
Mm.
you go to all those, you go to manufacturing, I pity you, because banks alone torture you to death. It's
Wow.
either you die or your company dies. I have friends that are into poultry, into middle level industry. Many of them have collapsed. Many of them have even
You collapse.
traveled out, and they
Wow.
say they're not coming back. So banks are very essential, but it's like now what they are doing is just, and all those things started, I think,
Mm.
with Soludo. Then later, this EMIA make it
Sanusi.
higher. How can you just wake up one day say 150 naira? You just mention one service charge. You don't even understand. So at the time when Buhari was abroad on illness, I jokingly told somebody that are they using bank for Nigeria to contribute to its medical bill. I said, cannot you understand? You just, in fact, don't forget that the level of exploitation are different. Some bank will look at you like this because they don't have much customers, you know. They will not touch your money. They only touch it maybe once, twice in a week. But the moment they get bigger, they become arrogant and more deadly in taking as much money as possible. That's why people rush to OP or POS. People prefer that. Instead of wasting your time, go to any of these banks now, particularly those that are in urban centers. You discover that you have too many people for one complaint or the other. And you say you are now technological driven. All those complaints, except we have physical things are necessary, can be done and should be done on our phone or laptop. Let me give you my personal experience. When I got to a bank for an issue, all of a sudden, 347,000 was deducted from my money.
No explanation.
Just a weekend.
Wow.
But luckily, on their house, I quickly went there. It was with my wife that I should go to the house. The money was intact. Now there's a conflict of panic. Okay, on my text message, you have removed 347,000.
But then it's
But on the house, the money is there.
That's magic.
Now, it was a Saturday.
Yeah.
What do? Instantly, I started sending my money to my wife to keep. At least if those boys want to be smarter before they got to my house, they would just find about 10,000 there, maybe for their own PR or for the job done. They will not find anything. Okay. So when I went to the bank,
yes, comrade,
on Monday, you know what? When they said I should go up, when I got, I just discovered that those things are common things. So from up, they said I should go down. I went down, I saw 4 people who had more terrible experience. So when I told the cashier, you know what he told me? I was expecting that. Why? No, it was not panic. He was just seeing it as common. He just smiled. He said, you have proof your money. I said, yes, I said, no problem. You are going to do it. He now said I should do another thing number all through. Yeah, I know technology can always be hijacked by people because technology is limitless. The banks are expected to move faster than the rules in technology thing. See the guy that stole money, this one tablet guy that stole money from the best bank, or let me say the largest bank. He stole so much, I think close to $40 billion. And he escaped to US. So you ask yourself, how can somebody be in the biggest bank in Nigeria for 2-3 years and was doing all these things with customers' money? You know, when you have 5 million and somebody say, let's say 2,000, you think, well, maybe I'll go to bank. And people don't go to bank for small money to go and complain. And the guy he left. You won't tell me that is part of banking. So banking is becoming more dangerous in Nigeria, and it's going to concern all of us if there is nothing. It's not only banking, almost all. Look at petrol.
All the sectors. Yeah.
You go to a petrol station. They say, okay. In fact, my late brother, who was a petrol manager, told me point blank that look, there is no petrol station that does not manipulate, their pump machine. I was sure. He said yes, even including the. He was working with a big petrol establishment. Yeah. He said no, that either they did it before they install, or while installing, they start doing it. Then again, look at NEPA, the so-called disco.
So I was even going to go there with you. Okay.
Because it's very important.
Okay, cover it.
You are going to buy pole. You are going to buy transformer. They are going to buy wire, and they will come and tell you it belongs to them. I don't understand that kind of theft. They will just tell you, if all those villages, in my village, we are still contributing to balance and these guys will just come. Unlike those days, you don't even know who is NEPA, who is anybody. Just find the line. Your concern is that somebody is selling product to you and you are paying. So it's like you are helping people to run their business, and at the same time, they are exploiting you. I hope one day they will not tell us to start contributing for petrol tanks.
Well, that may not be too far.
Pump machine, so that you can get better service.
Yes, Comrade Adeola Ashoito, a public affairs analyst, is on the line with us on Spotlight this morning. You can be a part of the conversation. Go to the Facebook page, drop your thoughts on how far you think the FCCP's investigations would go when it comes to consumer rights protection in the country. How far do you think this is going to adjust service delivery or impact the service delivery of different companies in different sectors across the country? You heard from Comrade that it's not peculiar to telecoms or aviation. It's all around us. All right, so Super FM Spotlight right here. And so follow the conversation. Watch me live on YouTube. Now, Comrade, let me ask you, what agencies in Nigeria are saddled with the responsibilities of consumer right protection? Because we've only heard from the FCCPC. I'm aware that the CBN, to an extent, is supposed to protect consumer rights as well, as regards banking and financial institutions in the country. And I think the SON, they have their peculiar roles but it's all about protecting consumer rights in different aspects. So what institutions are responsible for this, and your expectations of them beyond just launching investigations?
Well, we have the FCC around that has been trying to do something over the years, but I want to appeal that we as consumer, don't forget, consumer as a word or as a person is not isolated. If I'm consuming your card now, and you are cheating me, you go to supermarket, a baker, when you want to buy bread, will also exploit you. When a baker goes to petrol station, it's also a consumer. So consumer does not really have a boundary. All of us are consumers, all of us. But what we are saying is that when a consumer is exploited, then it becomes a convergence point for all of us. And this is where civil society groups to concentrate more on this. There was a time we were about to do patient rights association in hospitals. Don't forget, patients are also consumers. The late effective NAFDAC madam said she became tough and almost mad with fake drug because her sister died of fake drug. So the same thing applies. So we need to now take initiative, individuals, to society groups. I know there is one on electricity or two. I know there is one on service providers that monitor, but it's not much. It's not more. We need more. We need more in zones, even in broadcasting. Let me also talk about our own industry. Viewers are what? Are consumers. They are consumers. So when you provide service that are not solid, not fundamentals, of course, we need to be protected too. Consumers also need to be protected. You open a TV station, you open a radio station, and you find a lot of wrong diction, not wrong phonetics. Then you start wondering what is happening. Because I personally became interested before I even joined NTA as a viewer because of the likes of Bodiala Lade, John Momo, and it helped my English a lot and my writing skill. So we also look at all these areas which we are trying to not to look at. So consumers' rights goes a long way. It's universal. It's very general, but we can be specific in those services that are directly concern us. Particularly, a lot of us use, unless most of us use food. I just added another credit now for this data to what do they call it? To roll over my why now when I still have 4 gig there? Why should I roll over? Let me finish that now. So I think we as media and of course as consumers, as not only activists, as generally persons, if all of us have become activists, that's why we are interested in how we are
governed. Because it affects everybody actually. Even as long as you have a phone, as long as you have a bank account, as long as you are, everyone in the country is a consumer. And so it affects all of us. But now, what role do you think consumer education and awareness play in preventing this type of issues? Because a lot of people may not know that their rights are being violated as a consumer.
I think we also need to look at education, but least is being done. I must be sincere. This is where I think the state government should also have their consumer protection.
Comrade, your voice is fading out. I can hardly hear you.
Yeah, they should also have their. I think the state government, local governments should also have their consumer protection agency. You can't sit down in Abuja with your 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom offices and you expect much. Local government should have. When you go to all these alaja selling amala, yeah, we know the country is difficult. But there was a time I went to one alaja in Agege, though it was responding to market price. The ogufe used to be 1.5 then, and I was next to be served. And it just told the ogufe person that OTD 2000, the ogufe has become 2000. I said, Alaja, no, I have taken my amala. Please, me as a person, this ogufe will be 1.5. He just smiled. And the person who are coming after me were told 2,000 naira. So invariably, what education should have done is look, an enlightenment, of course, and of course that does not fall within the media purview alone, is to make the mind sensitive. We always resort to God, resort to prayer, everything. You go and buy soft drinks. You see nonsense there. Yeah, don't go. Thank God that you have not even tasted it. You go and buy the Movita or this, they are part of this, the Indomie, because they know that we are too religious, at times blindly and stupidly religious. There was a time, let me give you an instance. There was a case in US when I was writing on food security in, I think, Compass, and I was doing program on farmers radio program on Ray Power Radio Nigeria. So I had to study food health almost all the time. There was a woman in US who consumed a product, a canned product. I started having issue. At the end of the day, a doctor discovered that it's responding to a content, a chemical that was not listed. That's part of the manufacturer's dubiosity. That was not listed in that time. The lady went to court and he got money as compensation with apology. In Nigeria, forget
your own. Yeah.
God, why they even direct you to God who doesn't consume all this product.
But comrade, now, what arm of government is, because already there are existing laws when it comes to consumer rights and regulations. But what arm of government? I believe this heavy on the judiciary, because interpreting these laws and prosecuting the offenders, or that's their legal term. But is this now heavy on the judiciary to oversee and ensure that? So, what are your expectations of that arm of government?
Judiciary, at times I pity them. I don't think any judge, except it's a popular case that has attracted social media, Twitter. Most judges will not touch somebody called me that he bought some juice, saw cockroach. They just look at you. I mean, look, if you know the case before me, Yaya Bello case is there, Amepele case is there. A lot of cases are there with billions of dollars, billions of naira stolen or allegedly stolen. And you are coming with even murder cases are there, robbery and what have you. Corruption cases are many. I was going through EDA Resource Center publication on 100 cases of high-profile corruption. I pity those judges. I'm telling you, those judges. So if maybe we start thinking of, I don't even know, because.
But then we can't take laws into our hands,
Sometimes we may, if it is legal. Let me tell you why I say we may. Taking laws to your hand cannot be defined on the basis of absolute in absolute terms. Taking law into your hand is also taking laws. You're also making your hand to protect your life. If you buy something somewhere, maybe of just 5,000 naira worth, maybe a food product, and you discover that this product has gone bad, and the woman or the man is not interested in making a appeal, honestly, you can fight the woman, close the shop, and let her go and call police.
So that's
yes.
Comrade. If you fight the woman, what if they beat you? No, but comrade, see, the thing is, if you fight the person, aren't you endangering your life?
Yes, it will not be physical. You abuse yourself and barricade the. We have done that to industries now. You done that to industry. You barricade it because the woman will have killed, even though he didn't know, or he may not know. But don't forget all these expired drugs. They also have their roots. There's some people that deal with expired drug or bad drug or bad product. You just mix it along. At the moment you say, okay, this thing is bad, a gentleman will take it back from you. You see, if you buy soft drinks and you see cockroach, there was a case in Akure. There was a case of a popular soft drinks that is not that is now dead. A friend told me that his friend bought that soft drinks, a bottle, and he went there, he saw cockroach. So he thought, he's going to deal with it, he's going to make some money. Stupidly, maybe, there was no telephone, there was no social media there anyway. He was told to see the marketing manager. That one, you know what that one did? He just opened the thing and threw the thing away. So where is the evidence? Such a marketing manager needs to be abused immediately.
No,
and of course, you have to cause promotion in that industry.
Yeah, but comrade, where if we abuse, I think that one, comrade, you might not. That would be it might be counterproductive, because if everybody gather you and beat for one, and then for number two, the thing is, we wouldn't want a situation where there's breakdown of law and order, because the minute you
ourselves now go to bank, people abuse, and we have been doing that. It's not a new recommendation.
Yeah,
it's
but
a recommendation that people feel relaxed about.
Yeah,
go, a man called MTN abusing them all through. So look, these are you can't pretend to be too legalistic. Okay. If a driver doesn't pay you your change, a conductor, people fight. They abuse, if not physical.
Yeah.
Even if your husband doesn't give you much, you abuse.
That's domestic violence, comrade.
It's not. Well, it's a domestic violence against men. When we give you money, you women, So we
Okay,
want to,
but
I'm
but but
don't
but
you know the market?
but comrade,
So,
see, there's a comment here that says this has been happening for a long time. They should go and investigate. This is on Twitter. It says they should go and investigate the cable TV providers too. They are criminals. I stopped using the yellow telecom because of how they.
those ones, anytime although I'm no more their consumer because I rely more on my laptop and phone to get it. But when my children come around, then I do that. They just call now, they call their mom that we should subscribe. So, okay, no problem, we do that. But the moment they are not with me again, I don't subscribe. Because, let me say, except we do something about them. When you are in a non-competitive, don't forget, part of the job of FCCPC
PC,
is to encourage fair competition. And where fair competition is not allowed or encouraged, there's no way consumer will not be victim. I'll give you one instance. An in-law told me one time years ago that his wife was a major distributor of detergents and beverages. That he discovered when his wife started the business, they had enough money to put into it. But they didn't know it. That along the line, the wife had to run away. Now, because of that, he was his financial expert. But he didn't know that beyond what you are taught in university, there were other financial expertise that you have to learn or know about in the market. You know what they did?
What?
Because companies are giving them what they call end of the year cars, buses, and huge discount based on what they sell for the company. That some women in that Lagos Island, these are women that go to church, go to mosque, go to Kurukere, to Jerusalem or Mecca. That he discovered that some women, some big time distributor, they will buy in order to knock you out of the market and go and throw it at night in the lagoon.
Wow.
To buy their product. Yes, they go and throw it. When they told me, I didn't believe it. He said, look, some will even buy because they have a percentage of profit. Because you are coming in, Adeola Shetan is coming in, maybe you went to go and borrow money in paper, or one person is coming after looting through politics, he wanted to be the biggest. They will just come back and say, look, leave him. Right? It's a small boy. They will just collapse the thing to send you out of. So, fairness in competition. Fairness is another aspect that these agencies must look into. How fair manufacturers are. Look, some manufacturers, they will tell their distributor, they are privileged distributor.
Yeah.
That look, by next week, we are increasing prices. And those one have a lot. My wife says flour now. All these they are Indomie or what have you.
Okay.
He got to a place he had to call me. I should send about 50,000 so that he can balance. I said, what happened? So he got there now, and the larger upstairs or the woman upstairs just called in front of her.
But comrade,
put 2,000. They have called us that. So that is it.
It's a sad reality that we have around us in the country right now. This comment says FCCPC, that's on Twitter, taking some comments on Twitter that I would like you to react to. Although the network is, this is part of the consumer right violation. We're not having clear network. So FCCPC should please probe the discos. They are charging us for a service they cannot render. Band A is a fraud. They should revert and refund customers. The government should not allow citizens to be defrauded. And it also says that the investigations to be extended to payday lenders as well. What do you think about the payday lenders? Who should oversee the activities of those loan sharks?
Don't forget, like I said the other time, maximum profit, not really business. What I mean is that a capitalist in business does not really produce for mass consumption. It produces for maximum profit. So those who are going to give in that profit, that's his thing. The disco or whatever they mentioned today, there is no magic they did not perform on us. There is no explosion they did not perform on us. Our government looks at them. How can government says it doesn't privatize? Privatize what? Do we vote for service agents? Do we vote for disco? No. It's your responsibility. Government is to satisfy people and make them protected against exploitation. A capitalist wants to make maximum profit. No government wants profit. So far, government policy too has not killed business. So that is where we are now.
Okay, as much as
Everywhere you go, there is
yeah,
bombardment of exploitation.
exploitation. That's really sad. So, but that's not leaving us out of the equation because these agencies, these companies we are calling Nigerians are the ones working there. It's individuals like us that work there. So, what is the role of? Let's wrap it up now in 1 minute, comrade. Thank you so much. It has been very insightful. But let's wrap it up with the role of us Nigerians in curbing exploitation.
To play higher for that, of course, exploitation by you is almost not impossible. Well, it's going to solve problem intermittently.
Okay.
And of course, we go back to square one from our experience.
All right.
That is so, I think so.
Comrade Adeola Shoeton, thank you so much. A public affairs analyst, a brilliant mind. Thank you for your time with us on Spotlight. Really appreciate you.
Appreciate you too for giving this opportunity to people. Thank you very much.
Yes, comrade. All right, that's it. Please don't fight anybody. I think we have the laws in place. Report to the police. Go to the police. Bear your grievances. Thankfully, the FCCPC has launched an investigation. So look out for commissions. You have a smartphone. Research. Look out for commissions that are to oversee consumer right violations and reports. Report first. Take it to the police. Don't just assume. Don't jump on the bandwagon that nothing